When you're named Glacier National Park, the one thing you really want to be able to show off are your glaciers. Unfortunately, it's a sad fact of life that the park's glaciers are all melting away. Glacial expert Dan Faegre.
There were 150 glaciers in Glacier National Park, at least through 1850.
Now just 25 remain, and they're shrinking. Old computer models had showed them all disappearing by the year 2030, but the warming and melting have speeded up recently. The estimate now for the glacier's fade out?
It's probably, close to 10 years faster than what we originally expected.
The same warming means less snowfall and a smaller snowpack. That will lead to less water and drier forests. It could seriously alter the vegetation and hurt the animals now so abundant in Glacier. Bottom line, you might want to visit sooner rather than later if you want to see the glory of Glacier like it is right now. And what glory there is. The grandeur of the soaring peaks, each one a massive sight in itself, but stunning when piled up one after another after another. Quiet creeks burble along. Rushing waters race by. Some boom as they crash over cliffs. Others turn into such lacy, thin strands of water you can hardly hear a drop. Many empty into lakes that have become part of the iconic imagery of America. Lakes that help turn the sight of these mighty mountains into living art.
It was the Creator that created all of this. He created the beautiful animals and this beautiful wilderness that we might appreciate Him, and that we might turn our eyes to Him, that we might turn our hearts to Him, and that we might appreciate Him for all that He's done for us.
Much of this you can drive right by, especially on the Going to the Sun Road. It climbs from lake valleys to top out at 6,600 feet high, crossing the Continental Divide itself here at Logan Pass.
That was the intention of that road, was to make those types of views accessible to people who weren't taking multi-day horse trips or long hikes, and I think it succeeded.
Here each spring, brave workers risk life and limb along the sheer cliffs that this road hugs, sometimes digging it out of 70 feet of accumulated snow. Get away from your car and you'll find more than 700 miles of wilderness trail crisscrossing glaciers more than 1 million acres. Some of them are so high, when you hike them, you're atop what the Indians called the backbone of the world. An influential conservationist dubbed Glacier the crown of the continent. He found its peaks such soaring wonders, he said they made the fairly mountainous Yellowstone National Park look like flat country. Glacier offers up landscapes where jagged giants appear to skirt right up to the water's edge.
It's a restorative place for the spirit and the soul. People need parks like this to kind of regenerate themselves and get geared up to go back to their daily lives.
Here, dozens of varieties of plants and flowers cover the slopes and fields and meadows with a vivid carpet of color. Here you'll find little varmints that dart around your feet, or beasts as big as the gargantuan grizzly bears. Some 350 of them now wandering this vast wildlife animal reserve. There are also man-made marvels. Lodges constructed in the 1910s by a visionary who commanded they be built so grand as to match the mountains outside them. You'll see eye-popping Glacier Reds, America's longest-running fleet of passenger vehicles, which have been grinding their way up these passes since 1936. Park workers took a cedar forest and built a winding, wheelchair-accessible path through it so all can enjoy the towering trees. Men didn't just ram the Going to the Sun Road across the Continental Divide. They then built a boardwalk up from its highest point so visitors could easily go much higher. Hike a mile and a half and you'll come to the spectacle of Hidden Lake with massive peaks looming over it. Go the other direction and you're walking a trail right along the Continental Divide, along the backbone of the world, atop the crown of the continent. But if you're going to come here to enjoy the glaciers, do it soon, because whether they melt in 20 or just 10 years, they're surely shrinking to non-glacier status in the not-too-distant future. Paul Strand, CBN News, Glacier National Park.